when Laura R. Walker, the president and chief executive of New York Public Radio, addressed the crowd at an open WNYC board meeting last week, she said she was profoundly pained and sorry about management's handling of alleged inappropriate conduct by several on-air stars. For the last several years, I think we've prioritized growth and content and programming over investment in some of the processes and people, she said. To the many employees in the room, the we was clear. Ms. Walker, who for more than 20 years has been the public face of the station, and Dean Capello, her little-known deputy and WNYC's chief content officer. The two of them are like Siamese twins. They have been doing this, united, for a long time, said Bob Hennelly, a former WNYC reporter, who recently wrote about his frustrations with the station's management. If you got Laura alone, she'd say, "What does Dean think?" And if you got Dean alone, he'd say, "What did Laura say?" Together, they have transformed a beloved local treasure into a national radio and podcasting colossus. But in recent weeks, accusations of harassment and bullying were leveled at three of the station's stars, including John Hockenberry, who retired in August as the host of The Takeaway. Longtime hosts Leonard Lopate and Jonathan Schwartz were fired on Thursday after an investigation found they had violated standards of workplace conduct. The station has hired a law firm and a consultant to review hiring and diversity practices, while numerous employees have aired grievances at recent meetings, and are speculating that either Ms. Walker or Mr. Capello, or both, could also lose their jobs. Under their leadership, the station has grown in size and scope. In 1995, shortly before the two started, WNYC, with its city-owned AM and FM stations, had a weekly audience of 1 million and a budget of $8 million, with $11.8 million in annual fundraising. Today, New York Public Radio, an independent nonprofit that owns WNYC, WQXR, and other entities, boasts a monthly audience of 26 million, including streaming and downloads, and a $100 million budget, with $52 million in annual fundraising. Ms. Walker is compensated like a media mogul, too. She earned $768,000, excluding benefits or deferred compensation, in the fiscal year ending in June 2016, a drop of about $100,000 from the previous year. As a board member of the Tribune Media Company, she makes another $200,000 annually, according to securities disclosures. To date, there are more than 600 employees at the station, including part-timers, up from 84 in 1998, including almost 200 added in 2009, when the station acquired WQXR, the classical music station that was once owned by the New York Times, according to tax filings. The newsroom, which had only 3 journalists in 1995, now has 70, the station said, and has broken major stories on everything from the George Washington Bridge traffic scandal to Hurricane Sandy and Paul Manafort. Interviews with more than 24 employees past and present, most of whom spoke on condition of anonymity for fear of reprisal, suggest that in its drive to elevate the station's profile, management developed a blind spot at the nexus of gender, race, power, and personnel. The station's human resources practices had not kept pace with its growth, employees said.